First and foremost, we should understand what are rights. Can you define rights in a simple way? Rights are our claims which we are eligible to enjoy. Or, in other words, rights are claims of a person over other fellow beings, over the society, and over the government. We need to live happily, without fear, without any discrimination. Similarly, every other citizen also has the same rights. Therefore, we should not harm or hurt others, since rights are claims that are eligible for everyone. However, our claims should be reasonable. They should be recognized by our society. We should not have strange claims which cannot be justified by our social setup. Therefore, we can summarize that rights are reasonable claims of persons recognized by the society and sanctioned by law. Now, let's see the importance and need for rights in democracy. Rights of the citizen are clearly mentioned in the Constitution of India. Some rights which are fundamental to our life are given a special status, and they are called fundamental rights. Now, let's see the rights in the Indian Constitution. There are mainly six fundamental rights which are mentioned in our Constitution: right to equality, right to freedom of religion, right to constitutional remedies, cultural and educational rights, then right against exploitation. Let's study one by one. And first of all, let's discuss about right to equality. I think you know what's the meaning of equality. The laws apply in the same manner to all, regardless of a person's status. This is called rule of law in a country. Similarly, every citizen from the Prime Minister to a small farmer in a remote village is subjected to the same laws. The government shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds of religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth. Every citizen should get access to public facilities. Right to equality also emphasizes all citizens have equal opportunity in matters relating to employment or appointment to any position in the government. The Constitution also mentions one extreme form of social discrimination, the practice of untouchability, and clearly directs the government to put an end to it. The practice of untouchability has been forbidden in any format. Untouchability is a punishable offense as per the Constitution of India. Second fundamental right is right to freedom. Right to freedom has various dimensions, and we must know the subcategories which are also considered as the fundamental rights of the citizens of India. And they are freedom of speech and expression, assembly in a peaceful manner, form associations and unions, move freely or travel freely throughout the country, then reside in any part of the country and practice any profession or to carry out any occupation, trade, or business. First, let's see freedom of speech and expression. It's one of the essential features of democracy. You are free to criticize the government or the activities of the association in our conversations with parents, friends, and relatives. However, you cannot use this freedom to instigate violence against others. You cannot use it to incite people to rebel against the government also. Citizens have the freedom to hold meetings, processions, rallies, and demonstrations on any issue. People can discuss a problem, exchange their ideas, mobilize public support to a cause, or seek votes for a candidate or party in an election. But such meetings have to be peaceful. Citizens also can form associations. For example, workers in a factory can form a workers' union to promote their interest. This right allows lakhs of people to migrate from villages to towns and from poorer regions of the countries to prosperous regions and big cities. The same freedom extends to choice of occupations. The Constitution says that no person can be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. It also means that a government or police officer cannot arrest or detain any citizen unless he has proper legal justification. Right against exploitation. Every citizen has a right not to be exploited. The Constitution mentions three specific evils and declares these illegal. First, the Constitution prohibits traffic in human beings or human trafficking, which means buying and selling of human beings. Secondly, Constitution also prohibits forced labor or beggar in any form. Thirdly, you might have seen children working in hazardous areas, mining areas, restaurants, etc. Right to freedom of religion. India is a multi religious country. Therefore, our constitution highlights secular principles by which every religion is equally treated in our country. Therefore, every citizen has a right to profess, practice, and propagate his or her own religion. As per right to freedom of religion, a person cannot force any other person to change his religion. One cannot do whatever he wants in the name of religion. For example, one cannot sacrifice animals or human beings as offerings to supernatural forces or gods. Next fundamental right is cultural and educational rights. As per this fundamental right, any section of citizens with a distinct language or culture have a right to conserve it. Admission to any educational institution maintained by a government or receiving government aid cannot be denied to any citizen on the ground of religion or language. All minorities have the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. And finally, right to constitutional remedies. In order to secure all other fundamental rights, we have right to constitutional remedies, which makes other rights effective. That is why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chief architect of Indian Constitution, called this fundamental right as the heart and soul of the Constitution. If there is a violation of fundamental right, we can directly approach the Supreme Court or High Court of a state. The fundamental rights in the Constitution are important because they are enforceable. The Supreme Court and High Courts have the power to issue directions, orders, or writs for the enforcement of the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are also guaranteed against the actions of the legislatures, executive, and any other authorities instituted by the government. In case of any violation of a fundamental right, the aggrieved person can go to the court for remedy. It is called public interest litigation (PIL). Under the PIL, any citizen or group of citizens can approach the Supreme Court or a High Court for the protection of public interest against a particular law or action of the government.